Hi, welcome. My name's Paula. This is Coorie Crafts, my channel all about knitting, sewing, crochet, general crafty merriment. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. If you have never been here before, thank you. It's lovely to meet you. And if you watched my first episode, then thanks for coming back. That's lovely. It's really kind. It's really kind of you. I realised that I don't even think I said the name of the channel in my first video. I don't know why that was. Probably just nerves. So yes, the channel is called Coorie Crafts, as you probably already know. Coorie is one of my favourite Scots words. It just means comfy, cosy. So you would, like Agatha, my dog, is on my lap just now and she's cooring in. She's getting a wee cuddle, she's getting a wee heat, and you can like coorie in by, you know, shutting your curtains and putting the fire on in the winter, and that's kind of what crafts are for me. Just a real comfort, a place I go for solace, and a bit of calm and a bit of coze. So I just thought that it was a nice name for the channel, and I hope that it gives you a bit of that feeling as you're watching it. The light's not great in here, I apologise for that. It's kind of a late afternoon and it is a lovely day, but it's not the best light, so if I look like a bit film noir then I apologise, and I hope that you can put up with it. I hope that you've had a nice couple of weeks since I last so yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks here, and I will keep the kind of live chat for the end for anybody who's interested. But yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks and I haven't really managed to get quite a lot of the stuff done that I wanted to get done craft wise. It's so rotten when life takes away from craft time, isn't it? Usually things like first thing in the morning I would sit for an hour and knit before work and things like that, but it's been a bit all change at the minute, so I'm not really getting those quality time with my knitting. But I'll show you some of the stuff that I have been doing over the last few weeks. I have to say it's been a bit disastrous. I don't know if maybe I'm just a bit distracted with other stuff going on, or what it is, or it's just that time has come around that everything that I touch turns to rot. But yeah, I've had a couple of really poor knitting escapades recently, and I'll show you them because like it happens to all of us. I think it happens to all of us. It certainly happens to me quite a lot, just through, you know, not reading the pattern or thinking that you know better than I know better than the designer. But anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. I have some notes here, so if I'm looking this way, that's why. And I have a dog kind of here, so if she makes an appearance, then yeah, there's not much I can do about it. She won't settle anywhere other than on a lap, and I am the only lap around at the minute, so yeah, she's had a good walk, so hopefully she will be settled. And I don't intend this to be a long video, because as I say, I don't have that much to show you, but I just wanted to keep the continuity going. I was starting to feel a bit nervous about doing another video. I could feel myself kind of making excuses, doing housework, you know, instead of making a video. And I don't do housework for much, but I know that when I'm doing it, it's because I'm trying to avoid, I'm procrastinating from something else. So so I thought today, when I had an hour spare, I would come on and just share some bits. Again, if you haven't seen the first video, quick disclaimer, I have facial tics. My face sometimes does its own thing. If you find it distracting or uncomfortable to watch, no offence will be taken if you want to skip forward a wee bit, and if it does flare up particularly badly, I'll just stop the video until things settle back down again. So yeah, first thing I guess is what I am wearing, and I'll try and show you this without standing up because I don't want to disturb the dog. The things we do for our pets. So this I made this probably about this time last year, when I realised that I didn't really have any kind of a summery knitted garments that I could just wear. It didn't get that hot in Scotland, but it's been particularly hot you know, in June and a bit last year. So I thought I would find a nice kind of just knitted t-shirt just to throw on over over vest tops and things like that. I'm not really a show it all type person. You'll be glad to hear, I'm sure. So yeah, just something that I could throw on. And I love knitwear at all times of year. So this is the outline tee by Jessie Maid Designs. It is probably one of my favourite things that I've ever made. It's definitely one of my most worn items that I've made in terms of knitting. Obviously some of my sewn garments and things, I will wear them all the time, but this is one that I wear pretty continuously. You know, it's on my back most weeks, just because it is so comfy to wear, and I just think the design is just a bit elevated from a kind of basic t-shirt. So it is this lovely v-neck, and it has, I just don't know if I can show you that, this dropped stitch design. So it goes all the way down from here to the bottom. It's quite a cropped, sorry Agatha, it's quite a cropped t-shirt, and it has the dropped stitch down the sides as well, and on the back as well, she just discovered. Yeah, and it was lovely to knit. Obviously it's knitting around, and obviously the whole time I was terrified that I'd knit the drop stitch in the wrong place, and I would drop it at the end and it would just fall to bits, but it didn't, thankfully. It's just really well designed, it's really well written up. I can't appreciate this pattern enough. I can't remember the size range. I think I knitted the second size, but I'm sure it's got quite a broad size range. I think Jessie Maid's Designs usually does have a broad size range, and as I say, I knitted the second size. It's a fingering weight pattern, so I used, honestly, my brain at times, Debbie Bliss Rialto 4-ply. It's a superwash merino, and I know some people don't like superwash. I particularly really got on with it. I like how drapey it is. I just thought it was perfect for this pattern, because it gives that really kind of a drapey, and it's meant to be a bit oversized, so it gives that kind of nice slouchy t-shirt feel, and I think that kind of drop stitch detail works really well in it. Don't remember having any problems in it. I probably did, but have forgotten them. And this is, I think it's probably just grey or something, the colour for the yarn. But yeah, it was really nice to work with, and I keep saying that I should knit another one, and maybe in a kind of brighter colour for summer, because it's a bit grey, isn't it? But I just haven't got around to it yet. I'm a terrible one for just knitting a pattern or crocheting a pattern and then just moving on from it straight away, because I'm kind of done with it at that point. But there are so many patterns that I've really loved making, that and that I really love wearing. It's just getting the time to kind of go back round, because I always think, like, there's so many patterns, I just want to move on and do something new. But I'm determined that maybe in the winter this year I'll knit another one of these up, because I don't remember it taking that long. I think it was maybe about a week or something of knitting. Yeah, so it wasn't, and it's not particularly, it's stocking stitch apart from that little design, and a bit of rib at the bottom and round well, where you'd normally expect rib. Yeah, so I think I will look to make myself another one of these once I've got a bit of cash to buy some yarn, because as I said last time, if you weren't here, I'm knitting from stash at the minute. My circumstances have changed pretty wildly over the last year and a half, and I just have to be a bit sensible, which is depressingly craft, isn't it? Like, people think you save money by making your own clothes. Like, there's nothing further from the truth. And every time that I'm out in the world, I just want to buy more yarn. But I haven't been, and I don't have that big a stash of yarn. So some of the things that I've been knitting has been pinched from my mum's yarn stash. She's been knitting, you know, forever, so she has plenty of scraps of yarn, but it is kind of limiting me in terms of bigger projects, because I don't really keep like sweater quantities or cardigan quantities of yarn just kicking about. I don't buy in that way. I usually buy for a specific project, which kind of has meant that I've not really had that much choice in the last couple of months. But it's going to be good, I think, to it's challenging my creativity to see what I can knit out of what I have around. Yeah, so I will move on to some things that I've been making. The first thing I don't actually have with me, I showed the pieces of it, the disfigured pieces of it last time. It was the crocheted poodle. It was a Toft pattern, made from Toft yarn, and it was for my tutor on my new course, who has a toy poodle. And I did finish it on time. It was as a birthday present, and I was worried that it was just going to be so offensive. it was going to look so monstrous that she would think that I was offending her poor poodle. But no, I think it turned out pretty nice for my first kind of I'm not an experienced crocheter. I only started last year, the year before. So it was quite fiddly, and you know, I had to do kind of loop stitches and things to make it look poodly. And I put a photo in here, and yeah, I was frantically finishing it on the Sunday night before my course started, so that I could give her on the Monday, and I think she was pleased. She's either a really good actress, or she was pleased. She did say it wasn't quite breed standard. I think I'd made a bit of a mess of the tail, but to my eyes, it looks like a poodle, and it was just a gift. So it was definitely the thought that counted on that one. I really enjoyed crocheting it. I would definitely crochet more Toft patterns. They're really just well put together, as you'd expect. They are. It had everything within it that I didn't have to like Google anything or YouTube anything to find out what the hell they meant. And as quite a novice crocheter, I thought that was quite impressive. Yeah, not impressive with me. Not impressive for me. I mean, it was impressive that the pattern talked me through it without me having to go elsewhere for help. And yeah, it was I think about a week fiddling about with it before it was properly finished and stuffed and ready to be presented to a poodle expert, to be judged by a poodle expert. Yeah, so that was kind of my first finish this week. I don't think, no. Oh yeah, I do have another finish. So I'll start with that. This is going to be hard to show, isn't it? I'll take some photos. I'll try and give you a basic idea of. This is not good, is it? This is not, as they say, the thumbnail, because nobody would watch this. Yeah, it is the Rapid cardigan from nitty.com. So it's a website, and it's a free pattern. I just got it off the website. Sorry, the light in here is shocking, isn't it? There's not much I can do about it, I'm afraid. Yeah, it was a free pattern. I saw it, I can't remember where I spotted it. I wanted a kind of a wrap cardigan. I'm always in cardigans usually, so anything to make another cardigan. And that's okay, tickling her with the yarn. It's alright. So yeah, I saw this pattern, can't remember where, and I went to the website, and yeah, you can just either just read it off. I think I just copied it and pasted it in a Word document and printed it, and it has a lovely stitch detail. It's not complicated, but I love the shape of it. So it crosses over at the front. It's a wrap cardigan, and then so this was a bit that I had yet to finish, was the straps. Just had to pick up some stitches on the two front panels and knit for a certain, I don't know, amount of time, amount of length. Not for a certain amount of time, that'd be a strange way to to write a pattern. Knit for a couple of hours. Yeah, and so it's slip stitch knitted, and so makes this quite sturdy strap, and you just pass one end of the strap through one of the holes, one of the kind of yarn overs on the side, and wrap it around. So it's quite an easy thing to wear. It goes on. It's quite slouchy. It goes on over. It goes on over most things. I've got it on all the time. At first, I was a bit worried that it was too boxy for me, but the reason that I'm not untying it is because I found the perfect hole to put this through for me. That sounds dodgy. But I found the perfect place that this tire should come through, and I don't want to untie it because I know that I will never find the perfect one again. So so I will, as I say, put a photo in so that you can actually see what it looks like. But it came together really, really well. It's knitted all in one, and I think there's no rib on the cuffs or the bottom. It was just, I think at the end you just picked up stitches and then casted them back off again to make that kind of a nice rolled. I don't feel bad telling you any of this because it's just a free pattern. It's a lovely free pattern anyway. But yeah, it just rolls up at the hem and on the neckline there, which I quite like. Makes a nice wee change from rib, and it was quick. So yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this. This was Drops Bell, which is cotton linen viscose. Don't quote me on it, but I think it is. And it is something like pale blue. I'm all for the information this time, aren't I? I've got notes. I don't know why I'm not looking at them. Dark jeans blue, nothing like pale blue. But yes, it is Drops Bell, which is cotton viscose linen, and I think I only had like, I don't know, 3 balls of it or something, 4 balls maybe, and it came together really well, and I'm really pleased with it. And it's kind of an all-purpose cardigan that I will get, and I already have got lots of wear out of. Right, I'll stop tickling you with that. So that's kind of all that I've finished over the last couple of weeks. I have started a couple of things, and herein the disaster lies. I'm not particularly a joiner inner. I don't really do cowls and make-alongs and things like that, mainly because I change my mind so often about what I want to knit on and things, so I kind of just do my own thing, and also because I don't have a large stash of yarn that I can just decide to join in on something and just pull from stash for it. So, but I thought that it would be lovely to join in the Scottish Shrug Club cowl. That is not easy to say, particularly for me, which is a cowl being hosted by Amy Palco, who is, if you've been here before, you know I love, and I think it's a Caddy Jack's podcast. I don't know if it's both of them or just Jackie, who is the designer of these particular shrugs. And I casted on the Friday, can I have my arm back please, thank you. I casted on the Friday shrug, so she has as part of a weekend of shrugs, she has Friday, Saturday and Sunday shrugs in different weights of yarn, and I don't know if the patterns are different. I've only got this one, and it is a fingering weight held double pattern. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I've got some odds and sods of 4-ply, and I could be doing with a shrug. So so I gleefully went along and got the pattern. It's a wonderful free pattern from Jackie Rose. Jackie Rose, and I casted it on. So it's meant to be a fade, but I don't have the yarn for a fade, so I thought what I'll do, I had 2 different colours and I didn't want to stripe it, so I've kind of started by mixing the 2 together. So I don't know if that's showing up, it's really hard to see with the light in here. I'm sorry if that's coming across, but so this is, it's more drops, it's drops alpaca. The pink is drops alpaca and the cream is drops Nord. I think the drops Nord is just like number 1 off white or something like that. The alpaca is dark blush. And I had some of it left over from, I showed you last time, the Shirley lace top that I made out of the Knit Vintage book, and I still had quite a lot of it. I'm really bad at calculating how much yarn I need for stuff, so I end up with loads left or running out. Yeah, so I had quite a bit left of that, so I thought that what I would do is marrow them both at the start and then do a chunk in just the pink held double, because I only have one ball of the off-white, and I have, you know, I don't know, several of the pink. So, and then end with the same kind of this small stripe, so that it's kind of a bookended by the colour, rather with a big bit of the pink in the middle, rather than a stripe, because I thought I would get more wear out of it this way, and I couldn't be bothered striping, to be fair. And it's a 1x1 rib the whole way round. I'm really enjoying knitting it, but I have stalled because you can probably see I am a small person. I'm 5 feet, you know, I'm quite narrow. I shrug. This is probably going to be more like Spanx on me, and it is not the pattern's fault. I decided to knit it in completely the wrong needles, and I don't know why I did that. I'm knitting it on 4mm needles, and I'm pretty sure, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure that it's 5mm that I should have been knitting it on, and I only realised this morning when I actually just stood back and took a look at it, instead of just, you know, you just get in a rhythm. It's 1x1 rib, you're not really watching it, and it does have stretch, but I don't have barber cords or anything to try it on and see if I could breathe while wearing it, or if it maybe will become a cowl, an accidental cowl, maybe a Christmas present for someone. So yeah, I stopped knitting it this morning and thought I should probably get it on some scrap yarn or something, and just, sorry Agatha, and just try and see if it actually is going to go around me before I knit it to the length of a shrug, and then decide whether I rip it back. I don't mind ripping back, but it's a lot of 1x1 rib to rip back and start again, so I would probably end up just abandoning the project, and it'd be sad because it's my first knit along, so that I've ever joined in on. So I don't really want to do that, but I equally don't want to constrict my lungs by wearing something that's just actually no, that's not going to work, is it? I'll knit it, I'll maybe block it, I'll see what it turns out as, and as my mum always says, somebody will wear it. It'll get worn, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? So I probably won't. I'm not a big Instagram poster anyway. I'm not. I find social media quite overwhelming, and the popularity element of it I find really difficult to deal with. It feels like being back at school and nobody likes you, which nobody did like me at school. So yeah, I find that whole thing a bit a bit difficult, so I don't post very often over there, so I probably won't post it anyway. But I thought it would be nice to do a kind of secret join in, but I've made a mess of it, so so maybe that's telling me something. Maybe that's telling me just to go my own way, and yeah, maybe maybe not join in on things that and not read the pattern. Rookie mistake, honestly. Anyway, something else that has been minor disaster. I don't really buy project bags. I'm not really. It's not that I'm not a fan of them. I absolutely love them, but I don't knit a million different things at the one time. I said last time I'm a monogamous knitter, but I'm not. I wouldn't be able to do videos about knitting and crocheting if I just knitted one thing at a time. But I tend to do just a couple of things at the one time. So I don't have a lot of project bags, and the ones that I do have been bought for me as presents by lovely people who know that I love to craft. So I will show them, but I can't tell you any information about them because I don't know I don't know where they're from. But this one is really pretty. There's lots of fairies and stuff around it. It's got lovely little charms, and I love it, and it brings me joy when I use it. And I'm sorry that I am useless with information. But in here is the New Lanark Spinning Company yarn that I so proudly showed last time, that I got at New Lanark, and falling, and it is, there is no way of showing you this properly, but it is double knit DK weight, and it is this lovely kind of black and white plaid yarn, and it's really cheapy, really grippy and toothy and proper wool, and it's hard on my hands. My skin gets quite dry in my hands with knitting and stuff like that, so I find it quite hard on my hands, but I'm loving knitting with it. So I did cast it on, I did cast something on with it. I wasn't sure last time what I was going to cast on, but I just made a decision and I casted on the Moki cardigan. I'll put a photo of the pattern in, because I print out patterns, but I don't print out pictures, so just to conserve ink, and so I don't have that to show you, but I'll, it's a pattern by Flossie, but what is her actual name? Claire Rolls. But Flossie is she has a lovely YouTube channel, and goes by Flossie. And I've had this pattern for a while now, and always meant to cast it on, but just never quite got around to doing it. And thought this would be perfect for this, because it's a top down cardigan, and I got a kind of a mystery bundle of this yarn, and I think it said something like, I don't know, 550, 560 grams, something like that, but I don't know the meterage. So I thought the cardigan's a really kind of long line cardigan, long sleeves, long line, V-necked, and I thought I'll just knit it to a point and then knit the sleeves, see what I've got left, and then just make it the length that I have. I'm sure I could just look at what DK weight yarn is in meters, can't I? But where's the surprise? Where's the adventure in that? So I casted it on anyway, and it is a broken rib pattern, so rove knit rove rib, and I got maybe 10 rows in and realised that you can't see the broken rib at all in this yarn, just because of the beautiful marrow of the yarn. You just couldn't see it, and I thought, why am I ribbing when I don't need to? So I ripped it back and casted it on again, and have got to, I've stopped in the middle of a row here, haven't I? Yeah, of course I have. Have got to just beyond the raglan increases, So I forgot to mention it's a raglan. So I don't know if you can see them, but it's lovely in this yarn. And was delighted for about 5 minutes until I turned over the page of the pattern and realised that I should have been doing something else at the same time as the raglan increases. Honestly, like, who is this person who cannot knit? Why? No idea. I didn't bother my shirt to read the rest of the pattern. I didn't turn the page. And I'm pretty sure somewhere it says, please read to the end of this section before you start. Didn't. I've been in for years, it'll be fine. And I should have been adding on stitches for the neck, and haven't. So that is where it is at the moment, and this is about, I don't know, 38, 40 rows. And I don't really want to take it back, but at the same time, it's such nice yarn. I probably should take it back and knit it the way that it's meant to be, or I could just keep going without the increases and see how it turns out. But that then also runs the risk that I'll get most of the way down the cardigan and think that's horrible, I have to rip it back. I haven't decided yet. If you fancy putting in your tuppence worth, I would love to hear it. I'm always open to suggestion, particularly when it comes to me having made an absolute pig's ear of something. So yeah, if you think I should just go for it. I think the border's just picked up at the end. See, I've not even read that far in the pattern. What is that? Who am I? Yeah, I think the border's just picked up and knitted at the end, so I could just see what shape it turns out and wear it as like an edge to edge without buttons. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I don't want to rip it back because I have found it quite hard on my hands, but I will if I think that it's going to be a waste, because I don't have the resources to waste yarn at the minute, and I don't like wasting good yarn anyway. I want it to be something that I'll wear and I'll get use of. So so yeah, so that is disaster number 2. Final disaster is this, and I'm not really going to be able to show you this really well because I'm knitting it on circulars that are too short for the bit that I'm doing. But it's just another short cardigan like the ones that I showed on the last video. If you watched that, it is I've got it here actually. It's an old King Cole pattern. It was in my mum's cupboard, so it's that version that I'm knitting, just really short, and it's a chunky cardigan, and I am knitting the first or second size, can't remember. I'm going to blame again the fact that I had a stroke for my memory, because I'm pretty sure it's ironic, isn't it, that I can't remember if I had a good memory before I had a stroke. Is that irony? Yeah, it's just words, they fall out my noggin now. Anyway, so yeah, I have knitted this in a complete mystery yarn, so I didn't buy it. I've never bought anything this sparkly in my life. My mum swears that she didn't buy it, but somehow I had it in a drawer in a cupboard, and it didn't have a band on it, and it was, I would say it's probably about a 200 gram ball, so it was a decent amount of wool. I say wool, it's probably acrylic. It's definitely acrylic, isn't it? It's quite squeaky. But so I have no idea what the brand is, no idea where it came from, and I've had this lying around, I don't know. It came with me to this new house, and I've been here 2 years, so I don't know how long I've had it. And it was just sitting there, and I thought, it's a shame, I should knit that up. So I don't even know like what weight it is. I think it's probably chunky. it feels chunky, and it's knitted up well with the needle size and the pattern. And so I knitted it up and got the back 2 fronts, so it's knitted flat, back 2 fronts, and the 2 kind of little cap sleeves out of it. And where's it gone? That's what I have left for the border. And it's meant to be 6 rows of 1 by 1 rib the entire way around, from the back all the way around the kind of a curved front edges round to the back. I don't have enough. So it languished for a couple of weeks, and I thought I'll try crocheting a border on it, just something to kind of hold it. It's probably going to just end up like a house cardigan anyway, just for kicking about. And I thought, like, I'll just crochet a border on it to see if I can do that in less yarn. I won't need as many rows. And I tried it in the needle, the hook size that it suggests for kind of this weight of yarn, or what I think this weight of yarn is, and it was just really bobbly and uneven. So I went down a hook size, and then it wasn't right, it was too tight, and then I went up a hook size. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. Didn't work. So I ripped it all back, and I have just picked up a random amount of stitches around the edge. So this is the mess that it is. So I've picked up just around the entire edge, and I'm just going to knit until the yarn runs out. Until the end of a row of before the yarn runs out, because it's all I can do. And if it turns in or whatever, then I'll just need to live with it as is, because the other thing I could do is I could rip back the sleeves, because the sleeves are set in, so I can take them back off, rip them out, do a few rows of rib on them, and use that yarn, just kind of a magic knot the entire ball together, just to get the rib on the edge. But then you kind of run the risk of wasting yarn anyway, because I need to unpick all the stitches and stuff. Who knows? But I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know in the next video if I make anything out of this, or if it just gets completely ripped back and returned to that cupboard. The final whip to show you today, I don't have any crochet whips at the minute. I tend to go through kind of fits and starts of crocheting. So I've done a couple of crochet projects recently, and that'll be me for a little while. I'm working on a crochet blanket, which I'll show you next time, but that's like long term, just pick it up whenever my hands get too sore to knit, or I just need something mindless to do. And it has a chain started it too tightly, and it's a bit of a mess, but it'll be a blanket, so it's not going to harm anybody if it's a bit of a sight at the end. So I don't really have any other kind of crochet. I don't have any other. Oh, I have a cross stitch that I've finished that I might run in and show you at the end, but it isn't ironed, and it's a. We'll see. Anyway, so this is my last tangent much. This is my last knitting whip, and it is a pair of socks. So here is one, and I am just a little bit into the second one, and with everything in my knitting bags. Oh, talking about knitting bags, beautiful one with, I want to say, cranes on it. Are those cranes? Not an ornithologist over here. Is there a label in it? Oh, there is. Jibby Rousseau's, that's from. Yeah, it's a lovely little, just like in a sock sized small bag, which I use a lot. So yeah, with everything that I have in my knitting bags, there is a story. So this is the pattern that I designed myself. It's the only one that I've ever really. I mean, I make patterns up. I think we all do. You know, we alter patterns, or we just cast something on and knit it until it becomes something that you kind of like. But this was the first pattern that I really kind of wrote up and put out into the world, and it's called the Galanthus socks. So Galanthus is the name for snowdrops, and I don't know if you everybody see that? Can you see the little snowdrop-esque pattern there that I based on some snowdrops that were in my garden? I just kind of worked out how to best knit those. So I did this last March, April, not this year, 2022, when I was still very much recovering from brain hemorrhage. I was sleeping a lot and I couldn't really go back to work, and I was on just really heavy medication for seizures and things, and it was just a really hard time, and knitting and crafting really helped me in those moments when I was awake to just focus on something really tangible, really tactile, that was kind of taking me out of what was a really difficult headspace at the time. And I wanted to knit. I've been knitting socks quite a lot around about that time because I was in hospital for a while when they were trying to diagnose what I had, and over about a weekend in that November time, the hospitals, we were all kind of convinced that that I had a brain tumour, and my family and I were kind of preparing for my last Christmas really, and it was just it was a massive shock, and I've never been so thankful to be told. I never thought I'd be thankful to be told that I'd had a hemorrhagic stroke in my life, but I genuinely could have kissed that doctor when he came and told me. But yeah, so I was in the hospital quite a lot and getting loads of scans and different things, and socks are just a really portable thing that you can, why am I telling you this? But yeah, so I was just churning out socks while I was in the bed, just like desperately wanting some good news, and these socks eventually became the socks that I kind of took with me to knit in waiting rooms and when I was getting scans and things like that. So, and since that time they've really languished, because the way music and things really bookmark times for you, or really take you back to a certain time, and for a while these socks were taking me back to kind of that time when I was just in a really desperate place and really didn't know what was going to happen, and I just kind of left them there. And I thought this month, when it's a time for kind of new starts and moving forward with things, I thought, why not get them out and kind of exercise that demon with them, and plus they're nice socks. The yarn's really nice. It's the Regia Merino Yak. I think it's Menado Blue, the colour, and I really like them and I want to wear them in the winter. So I thought, I'm going to get them out, and I had to rip a bit back because I've obviously been quite distracted when I was knitting in a waiting room at some point, and I completely messed up the pattern on the second one. So I've had to take maybe 10 rows of it back, and I'll just kind of start them back up again from there. The reason that I called them, that I wanted to knit something with snowdrops on them, was because in kind of florography, the language of flowers anyway, snowdrops are all about kind of hope, and I really needed some hope at that time, and I feel like I really need some hope again now. So yeah, it's a lovely project to be working on, and I want to just take them away from that moment when I needed them so desperately, and just bring them with me moving forward. So I intend to finish these over the next couple of weeks. It's a kind of traditional heel flap gusset. There's 3 sizes in the pattern. It's I think you can still buy it. I think it is still on Ravelry, but if you want it, just email me and I'll send you. But yeah, it's a twisted rib, half twisted rib cuff, and I really like them. I've knitted some for friends as well, just who have been in difficult places and who need a bit of hope. And what's more hopeful than a knitted sock? Is that just me? It's probably just me. Because I mentioned it earlier, I thought that it would be churlish of me not to go and actually get the cross stitch stuff that I finished to show you. So I started working on this a couple of months ago. I'm really slow at cross stitch. I really enjoyed doing it, but with all the other crafts, you know what it's like, you're in the mood for knitting or crochet or whatever, and I was in the mood for cross stitch, and I needed something for on my wall, for a space on my wall, so I started this. I picked this up because I just love the design. It's not a kind of design that I have seen before, and I absolutely love lighthouses. So sorry, the hoop mark is still on it, because I haven't yet washed it or ironed it clearly. But it's a Pana kit. That's the make, and it came as a kit. So I've just stitched it on the kit fabric, which I think is 28 count linen, I think, and it is cross stitched 2/1 and no 2/2, and I just love the sketchy style of it. I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. Not particularly the way that I have interpreted it, but just the design itself. I think they do another couple like this. I think there's a whale that's kind of that really nice sketchy style, and obviously it's got a lot of like back stitching things to get those the outline, to get what looks like the pencil marks, and they add that all at the end, obviously, and it just brings it to life. It looks nice without it, but then you add all those kind of almost scribbles to it, and it just really brings it to life. And I just as soon as I saw it, I just thought this is perfect for where I want it to be, and I love the idea of it being a guiding light. I love lighthouses. I visit lighthouses as often as I possibly can. Agatha doesn't particularly like them because they're always on the coast, obviously, and it's windy there, and she does not enjoy the wind, so I always have to just carry her around lighthouses. but I really enjoy lighthouses. I love the idea of just the light out to sea. There's something really poetic about that, and yeah, I'm really proud of how it. I'm not an expert cross stitcher by any means, but I'm really proud of how this one turned out, and once I've got it all finished and framed, I'll bore you with it again, no doubt. So that is all of the crafty content, I think, for this time around. I don't have any new yarns that I've acquired. I don't really intend to buy anything this month either. If I can help it, I might raid my mum's knitting cupboard, and I know that she's got a lovely new Lanark wool that I have got my eye on, and I keep trying to convince her that she'll not get round to knitting it. You know, you've got so much else to knit, but so far no dice. But if I do manage to get my hands on that, I will show you it next time. But I intend to just continue to knit on the socks and the cardigan. Whether or not it works, who knows? That will be next time's revelation. So if you're just here for the crafty content, thank you so much for joining me. It has, this last month since putting out the last video has been lovely. People just have been so kind, and not one person had said that that my twitching face has bothered them, which is always lovely. Somebody has said that the sound isn't great, and I'm not using a microphone. That's probably why. I'm quite softly spoken anyway, and I'm really sorry if that is a problem. Please let me know if it is, and I will get to grips with technology and get myself a microphone for the next time. But yeah, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Yeah, and I will hopefully see you in the next couple of weeks. If you are staying for live chat, there's not that much. I have started my new course that I was talking about. I don't think I mentioned what the course actually was last time, but it's a bit of a divergence from what I normally do. My kind of day-to-day job, I've been self-employed for about 13 years now, and I am an electronic note taker, so a live captioner or speech to text reporter. I work in situations that people need things subtitled, and I provide that. If that's maybe kind of the easiest way to put it. So I've been doing that for a long time. I type basically what's been said, and I really enjoy that. And I also I'm an author, so I've got, actually there's a couple of books there. I've got a couple of books published, and I'm a motivational speaker, and you wouldn't believe it, would you? But I am, I promise, and a life coach. So I do lots of different, I think they call it a portfolio career. I do lots of different things, but it's all really thinky and all quite in your own head, and you can do most of it from home, maybe not motivational speaking, but you know, it can be very solitary. And since my marriage has broken up in the last couple of months, I've realised that I kind of need to push myself to do something outside of the house, or I'll just stay in and not see people. So I enrolled on the City and Guild's professional dog grooming course, the level 3 course. So at the minute I'm doing it's a level 2 and the level 3 together, and I'm 3 weeks into my level 2, and it's hard. It's really physical, and you know, I haven't done any kind of manual work ever in my life, and yeah, it's difficult, but it's really different, and I absolutely love it. And the people that I'm on the course with could not be kinder or more genuinely lovely people, and the tutor is wonderful, and yeah, people have just really accepted me where, that sounds really pathetic, but kind of where I am at the moment. You know, sometimes bursting into tears randomly through bathing a poodle, or but yeah, it's full on. There's a lot of theory, there's a lot of practical stuff, and it's great. I go and I'm just surrounded by lovely people and beautiful dogs who just remind me of the good things in life, and you know, remind me what I'm still doing here and the way forward. And I'm really loving it. I don't know if I'm any good at it yet, but I'm enjoying trying, and hopefully by the end of the 9 weeks I will be ready to groom your your lovely family members, canine only, please don't send your husbands or anything. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. That's giving me a lot of joy at the minute, a lot of pleasure. I'm also you know, Agatha is doing great. She spends the days when I'm at my course with my parents, with mum and dad, who she absolutely adores and who feeds her whatever she wants. So she is loving life right now. The days when I'm not doing my course and I'm working, she seems a bit disappointed that she's just with me. But yeah, that seems to be going really well. Things are still a bit difficult. I'm still having days when you can't look at me for me bursting into tears, but for the most part things are good. In terms of what I've been filling my time with, my time's full already, but you always find time for watching knitting YouTubers, don't you? Like that. There's always time for that. So yeah, I've been watching quite a bit of knitting YouTube and crafting YouTube while I'm meant to be studying, while I'm procrastinating from learning about dog breeds. So I thought I'd maybe just share a couple of the people that I really enjoy watching. So the first one is Claire, who makes things. If you haven't watched Claire, she is just an utter joy. And I've told her this. You know, I've messaged her in the past, particularly when I was in hospital with the whole you know, diagnosis thing, and I was having a really hard time, and I watched lots of her videos, and she just brightens up the day. And if you're having a bit of a rough day, and her crafting, like she's an incredible crafter. She does knitting, sewing, paper craft, you know, just anything she can turn her hand to. But her her joie de vivre, I feel like, is something that I just admire so much, and I love watching her for that. I also really love Ruth Loves to Knit. I'm sure you probably already watched Ruth. Her attitude to life, I mean, it's always about the knitting, you know. I love seeing what people knit, but I also really benefit, I think, from people who have just great attitudes, and I love Ruth's attitude. She is just such a blessing to the world, I think, and her knitting is just wonderful. So, and her and Hannah's Happy Space, who is also a knitting YouTuber, well, a crafting YouTuber, but their friendship really comes across in their videos. They don't do videos together, but I think they always religiously try and mention each other in their videos, and you can tell that the mutual respect and the love and care between them is just joyful to hear about. And I love Hannah's colour and her just vibrancy, and just, yeah, again, she can turn her hand to anything, it seems, and I have real respect for people that can do that, and also for people that just get so much out of crafting. So yeah, I'm sure you probably already have watched them, but if you haven't, then definitely go and tell them that I sent you, because they are just, they brighten my day, and in a way that hopefully, if I ever get any good at doing this, I will brighten someone else's. I think that's about time for me to wrap this up, and I've probably spoke for much longer than I intended to. I'm working tonight, so I better get on with that and getting Agatha out for a walk. I hope that you have gained something from this, even if it's just what not to do. Read your patterns, people. The designers know what they're talking about. Yeah, and thank you so much for being here, for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope I've made you smile even a little bit, because you've been here has made me smile and has brought joy to a heart that needs it at the minute. So thank you, and hopefully I'll be back again in a few weeks' time, with fewer disasters and more nice knitting to show you. Take care.